Welcome to FCC Supporter Square, the show for fans, by fans, and about fans. Here are your hosts, Matt Warman, Boston Brazel, and Mark Suffin.
Welcome, everybody, to the special playoff version of FCC Supporter Square. I'm your host, Matt Warman. With me is Mark Suffin. We usually record on Thursdays, but now it's Friday, which happens to be Halloween. So we have all treats and only tricks for that team up north.
Yes.
It was a very interesting battle. Part two is coming up soon. So that's really all we're gonna focus on. We only have one game and one team to focus on. So hey, we thought we were gonna play Chicago. In our
Yeah.
preview show, we were pretty certain that it might be Orlando, but it would not be the team up north. Just no. And it turned out we were wrong. But that's the fun part about taking a preview before all the results come in. That's why they play the games.
Yep.
So there we go. We have Hell is Real at least one more time. Hopefully only one more time. And we'll talk about the first Hell is Real match with Mark Supp. And how you doing, brother?
Man, I'm doing just fine. Happy Halloween to you, sir. Beautiful night, finally done raining, and yeah, looking forward to having a two-game series in this first round, and I'm not going to speak of a third. There's no need. We will take that and get to the second round with 2-0 match victory. So, yep. We're going to win both, and that's all there is to it.
And a week off. That's what we need. That
Yep.
would be the dream scenario. So due to this a weird circumstance of Orlando losing,
Yeah.
Chicago tying, and somehow Columbus winning, we are where we are. So we had our first game Monday night. It turns out that FC Cincinnati can indeed score and can hold on to a lead, apparently with our rivals, because usually that isn't the case. I will say, right out the gate, that's the best I've ever seen this team play. And that being said, we could do much better. we could
100%.
we could
100%.
do way
Yes.
much better.
Yeah.
This is one of those games, and we know because A, we live in Cincinnati, and B, we're used to playing against that team up north and them doing something like this all the time.
Yeah.
We had that one goal lead, and then it was my nerves are shot. My voice was shot. I remember like in the 85th minute trying to yell, and I was like, nothing was coming out. I'm like, oh, I've lost my voice, and I'm not even really. I've lost my voice. I cannot yell anymore. I gave it all out on as a fan out in my seats near the pitch. But we'll get into the details. What was your first thoughts of seeing them after 90 minutes? What were your feels?
I totally exemplify exactly everything you said. This team figured out how to score, figured out how to keep that score, figured out how to keep that team up north out of the net, and it's a test of resilience. And this team, all the mental aspect of a rivalry like this, it just a testament to how this team is firing on all cylinders at this point in the season. We've talked about how middle of the season, I don't think they could have beaten anybody at that point. But now, ending the season 3 points out of the Supporter Shield. I mean, that's amazing. And then, seeing that we had to play that team up north, getting that awesome victory, because they weren't going to back down. But this team played amazing, and Buka played amazing. Evander, just kept things going, and it just kept going and going. Give it to the defense. Just play, without Miazga, without Engel, did so well, and just Hagelin just bent but didn't break, and of course it took Alvis Powell to do Alvis Powell things, and we can talk about two players like Hagelin and Powell, who coming into the season we didn't know what they were going to give us, but boy have they turned into absolute superstars for us and been so integral in our success this year.
Yeah, my thoughts go out to Alvis Powell and the country of Jamaica.
Yes.
I've been there a couple of times. It's a gorgeous place. So I'm hoping that things are well there. But that being said, my first thoughts on watching the game was the things that we've talked about all year long. Teams have figured out if you press this team and you park the bus, you're going to get a counter
Yep.
opportunity. They clearly were playing for PKs. I don't
Yes.
know why you play for PKs because that's just a coin toss. But they were
Yeah.
definitely playing for PKs. One, the keeper would just sit on the ball, right? We were not pressing. We were not pressing. We were playing basically a zone defense.
Yep.
If you were watching American football, we were playing basically a zone defense
Yep.
and a soft zone at that. They could have easily made any kind of entry passes. They just wanted to sit and wait to try to draw us in to be more aggressive. We were taking that bait. So, but they were also just deflating the ball. So if you're going to sit there for 15, 20, 30 seconds holding the
Yep.
ball, you're playing for PKs. Second one, they were five in the back. They had parked
Yes.
the bus. They were like, if we play five in the back, Cincinnati will not score. Say what you will about any of the stats, you throw most of the stats away. You kind of have to use the eye test for this. So if you haven't watched the game on Apple TV, it was a pretty dominant performance, particularly in the first
Yep.
half.
Yes.
They possessed the ball. They moved the ball with authority. They knew exactly where they wanted to go with it, and they were breaking down that back five. I'm hoping that Ender gets a better shot. If he can,
Yeah.
if he could threaten with a shot, he can. His passing was amazing, but if you could threaten with a shot, that would be good. Brenner
Yeah.
looked mostly good, but his shot selection was poor, and I know he was the game winner, but Danke was not looking great either on any of that stuff, and even Vander seemed to be. So from a shot standpoint, we
Yeah.
didn't look like our team, but oh my gosh, how many times did we see balls moved from one side to the other quickly with authority
Yes.
and
Yes.
crossing right across, and you have a guy at the front of the post, the back of the post, the middle of the post, just like you would see in English Premier Soccer. I mean, how many times did we see somebody running to the back post and just miss it? I mean,
Yep.
that's what I'm talking about where we could do better because we clearly should have scored 2 or 3. And the
Yeah.
goalkeeper, both keepers made great saves. I mean, this is a great game. You're not going to get there. They are 7th, we are 2nd. Throw that out the window too. This team, they all want to play with passion and they all play at their best.
Yep.
What were your thoughts, generally speaking, or more specifically on the first half from where you were cheering from?
Well, first half, you just saw, FCC just sort of continue to build. The midfield just kept continuing, and it really didn't show in possession. It just showed in who was really dominating the midfield, and we were just taking. They would try to move upfield, we'd take it. It was Kubo taking it. It was Buka taking it. It was just so much disruption. And let's just stop right here when you said both goalkeepers played amazing. And take nothing away. A clean sheet by Roman, well deserved. He played awesome. He had the save of the year. That's all there is to that. But Patrick Schulte, I just have to say, played an amazing match. That save on Brenner was world class, and I just got to give it, to him because Brenner made an awesome shot, but Schulte was up to the task, and what an amazing save! The whole Bailey just just exhaled when that save was made, because we know how good a shot that was. We heard it, we saw the save, and wow, how close we were to having a goal. But yeah, it just kept going until we finally got that breakthrough. Ender to Powell, who blasted it, and then Danke with the shot and goal, and it just perfect. The balls that we were sending, you know, they couldn't trap, or they couldn't do any push on us at all, because we would just get around it and get upfield, and it was very nice, and it just kept going in the second half, and it just turned out to be a beautiful night in TQL, that's for sure.
We, as you said, we had like 2+ days of rain. I was up east of Columbus. Uh, my wife had some training, and my life circumstances allow me to go wherever she goes. So I
Mm,
got to hang up there for a couple of days, and it wasn't raining there, so that was nice. But uh, so many things. So they were playing a high line with a back five. You got to
mm,
remember, the last time they played us, they have not seen Ender and Chinike in person.
yeah,
They've seen Brenner, but they haven't played against Brenner
yeah,
since he came back. Giddy, they haven't seen him.
yes,
And I don't know. Yeah, Denke was there, but I think he might have been out for, I can't remember the second game, but there were several players where they had not seen them. Haglin
hmm,
wasn't in the game. I think he was still nursing his injury. So it was very nice to see all of these new pieces that in the summer window we went, wow, they're going to be good if we could ever get them to gel.
yeah,
And the other thing is that we'll talk about in the second half, is having all those injuries. Alvis Powell had to play a significant amount of games to get us to where we are. And so when he got the call in the second half, nobody, every time we played this team or other teams in the playoffs, it's like, okay, we can't have any injuries. If somebody goes down, it's like, oh no. I mean, all teams have a star if the star goes
yeah,
down. But I mean, if we had Kubo go down, or Bariel, or Oshano, maybe
hmm,
not the top guy, then we're like, okay, well, we got to play for the draw, and hopefully we can get win in PKs. No, we don't have to do that. We've got guys. We've got a rotation. Since they were playing high in a back five, the one thing that was super cool was seeing Nick Haglin. Nick Haglin was aggressive, so they were pushing forward on them, and Ender and Janike could outrun
yep,
whoever they have. I don't care who they put in. He's outrunning them, and they're playing it into space. It's not a boot and a prayer. It's playing the space. They're giving us the space. We've got the guy who can outrun their defender. So now we're playing into space, and they're playing tremendous defense. They clear the ball to Haglin, who now has his head up and is looking to pass. We haven't done that all season.
yep, yep,
Because usually when they park the bus, our back three are way back, waiting for a counter. This time we're like, no, we got Robinson. He knows what he's doing. We're good. And so we pushed forward, not recklessly, because he was basically behind the front line, so he could do some recover or stop ball to get there. So having that extra man, letting them try to do a clearance and stop that clearance and get the ball recycled right back in before they could get set again, was the world of a difference. And it seemed to me like they didn't know, they hadn't seen that, they weren't expecting that. That was kind of most of my take from the first half. Besides, I said at halftime, jokingly, I'm going to make sure that everybody knows this. Jokingly, I said, I am this close to getting on the pitch and punching Rossi. I'm so tired of his antics.
mm,
His antics. He'd foul somebody and then yell at the ref. He'd get
yeah.
fouled and yell at the ref. He'd fall down and nobody's near him and he'd yell at the ref. I'm like, get up, play the game. Oh, he was driving me crazy.
Yeah, that, it harkens. I mean, it's a little more egregious than anything Lucho could have done. But yeah, he's been known for that for years, well before he was in that yellow and that black up there. Uh, so uh, he's just continuing his style of play, and thankfully that style kept him out of the net, and a nice quiet drive back to that team up north.
Defensive, we looked pretty good. Giddy,
Hmm.
he adds an offensive flair that we don't have. Having both Obi and Anunga out, because
Mm.
Anunga is clearly defense. Obi is what you want, but he's not ready yet. I mean, he did come in the second half, but he's not quite the Obi that we need full time yet. So Giddy is kind of this offensive option with some defense, but he made some questionable passes that almost led to the first goal for that team up north.
Yeah.
We were playing a little high, and somebody didn't cover that. Somebody did not step up, and the Roman Celentano made himself big and pushed it aside. Uh,
Mm.
uh, so it was a very good first half. Before I move on to the second half, once again, the Tifo game from the guys.
No.
Uh, you know, there was a time where some people would go, well, that Tifo's okay, but I could do better. And they said, fine, give us your designs. It's an open process. This is not just one guy doing one thing and it looks similar. You know who has one guy who does one thing and everything looks the same? It's the team up north. All they do are goosebumps. So let
Yep.
them do their goosebumps. That was what we've been looking for. A 3D effect. We've had problems with rigging and figuring all that out. Everything was great. You had the two little posters. You had the big backdrop, the smoke, everything. It was fire. I give it 10 out of 10. It was a really. I think last year's was a little bit better, but I'm not. I mean, that's just
No.
personal taste. That was if they're all awesome, it's like, well, which one's more awesome, this awesome or that awesome? No, they're all awesome. But I thought it was well deserved. Some knucklehead from up north goes, oh, that was just lame or whatever. It's like, yeah, go do your goosebumps again.
Yeah. I mean, they were saying something like it was AI,
Oh
but to
yeah, it was AI. No,
the
it's not AI.
23, the
Uh,
25,513 that were there saw a real TIFO being raised. So yeah, AI wasn't being done. It wasn't printed. This was traced. This was painted. This was put together. This was tested. This was done by so many people that did so many amazing things. Uh, the TIFO, and thankful to the Forge, thankful to the Incline, thankful to everybody that had a hand in that TIFO. They continue to raise the bar. That team up north, they don't even, it doesn't compute anymore for them because they don't know TIFOs. They don't care apparently because they don't know how to do them. But we're being looked at globally now. So that is a tribute to where how far we've come in the Tifo game.
That's why I love these fans. I love this city. I love this team. It's all of that. All of us together collectively doing great things. That's what this stuff is all about. So you say, well, it's just, you're talking about soccer. Why are you talking about the team? No, this is all part of it. This is all part of the culture. It's part of the pride of this town and this
Yep.
team. That's what makes this team so much more special than that team up north or the other yellow and black team who did have a TIFO printed. And I'll tell you why I know it's not AI. If it was AI and it was printed, because this was somebody who did not know said, well, why didn't it say hell is real on it? Why didn't they have any hell is real? It's because we didn't know who the opponent. This was for the first round of the playoffs. This was not specifically for them. We did this weeks ago. The design was weeks ago. The execution was, I think, during before decision day, from what I remember. And I was out of town, so I knew I didn't get a chance to work on this particular one. But I know the amount of time and talent and work and effort from artists and regular fans. And whenever you hear about a Tifo painting, do it. It's a fun time. It's a great time to meet your fellow fans and hang out. So that's how I know it's not AI. There's no Hell is Real on it. Had nothing to do with Hell is Real because we didn't know who our opponents were because we had it designed well before that. So first half we looked dominant. Second half, I always say this, particularly to my wife, particularly the last couple of weeks. I say if only we can survive the first 5 minutes of the second half, we'll be fine. I don't know what it is. I don't know if they're overconfident, they're thinking too much because the coaching staff has been throwing a bunch of stuff at them, what they might have to do. But the first 5 minutes, and even this game, the first 5 minutes was a little soft, not as soft as it has been before, and we made sure that nothing happened. But that first 5 minutes, I always go, wait, once we get to 55, now things will change a little bit. I don't know why it is that these guys can't come out. Honestly, the part of it looked like they started to slow down a little bit. I think, and this is a good thing, not a great thing, but it's a good thing. But I think this team, like a Danke, Brenner definitely knows what this is, but Danke and some of the other players, they know that this is a rivalry because they've been told, but they don't, it's not their rivalry, right?
Yeah.
They don't grow up
Yes.
with this. But these guys were jacked, absolutely jacked, particularly the first 15 minutes. And I think there was a little bit of a tired letdown, and they were like, wait a minute, we know this game is not going to PKs. We're going to score. And they kept chipping away. And then what you said, it was a ball to space to Ender, who beat his man, made a glorious pass all the way across. Alvis Powell, instead of shooting, passes it to Danke, bounces off his knee a little bit, throws Schulte off and puts it in the back of the net. Not the prettiest goal in the world, but in these matches, that's all you want is that ball across the line. And it took, what was it, the 78th minute before that happened?
Yep.
Because it felt like the second half, Columbus was beginning to grow into the game a little bit.
Mm.
They looked like they were not necessarily, we aren't doing anything tricky, but it was like they figured out us a little bit. And again, I think we had slowed down a little bit because that's when we brought in Alvis Powell.
Yeah.
We bring in Alvis Powell for who was our trying to remember who was our wingback because we were missing Orishano. He was I heard after the game that he was only in case some catastrophic injury. He could just do PKs. I mean, he's not clearly not ready. Mardzuk wasn't ready, I don't think. I can't remember who was, but anyhow, he played well. He played well, but bringing Alvis Powell in, now we have speed on both ends. Now we have two wingbacks with speed, and you can see that speed on display. Speed kills when you have a bit of talent. And when you have a player like Brenner and Danke, when you've got those wings being able to do that and pass the ball efficiently, we're looking very strong. If we can connect on the passes, that final pass, that we had a pass in the box, Dinky just could not get his foot on the ball. I don't know how he didn't. He should have just ran with the ball right into the instead of because I think he could have. I think he was trying to figure out whether he wanted to slide or kick it and kind of half slid and didn't get any touch on the ball. That would have been glorious. I think we can do that. I think if Brenner can get a little the one shot, as you said, Schulte, that was between the defender's legs. That should have been a goal. If it was, I think it was Giddy. Giddy had a rebound shot who hits it right at the keeper, who was like looking around. If he hits it 6 inches either way or hits it a little bit lower, we would have gotten multiple goals. So I'm looking very forward to this. What were your thoughts on the second half?
Yeah, you saw the team up north do a few more things that they obviously learned, when they, at the break. and they were starting to implement some of that stuff. But you saw clearly they were wanting PKs in the second half, and it was starting to grind down to that, and it was concerning. But I think the infusion, bringing in Obi, who looked great. He wasn't the old Obi that could fly around and take the ball, but we didn't want him to do that. We didn't want him to re-injure himself. But he was doing that switching fields thing. He was getting the ball from one side over to the other, and he was doing that very well. So he wasn't sort of the defensive minded guy. He was that offensive minded guy, and that was what we needed. We needed to keep that pressure on. And then Alvis coming in, was excellent, and it turned into, we weren't going to quit. We weren't going to, go for. We didn't want that PK scenario to happen. So I think the urgency was still there with us as we brought in um, subs, and it turned out to be what we needed. So I just think I'm just happy that we kept on the gas and kept going, because I was at the match up in that team up north. I was there, and I saw a score, and then I saw the drawback, the hangout, the wait, the 5 across the back or the 9 across the back. It seemed like we were just getting barraged with shots. So I just like that we weren't even thinking that now. So that's what's changed from then to now, is we are a much different team. We're a much more stronger team, and that's
All
what got
the
us the
things
victory.
that all the things that Newton has been accused of, poor rotations, poor game plan, in this game were all out the window. Bringing in Alvis Powell immediately brought in a result. Swapping out Brenner for Obi, and I think Kubo came out, and then we added Flores. So we had our back three, and then we had Flores
Yep.
and Hadebe and Obi all on defense, but not doing like you said, not parking the bus. Because we just swapped out our offensive players for defensive minded players in positions to protect the lead. So we weren't changing our formation, not necessarily changing our tactics. And the other thing I saw, which was great, although I believe the ref should have called something, was a Vander in the 90th minute running to the flag. Running to the flag. I think it was kind of a long ball. He outran everybody, or maybe it was a. I think they were trying to push for a goal, and Evander just took the ball and just ran up the field. Saw that he wasn't actually going to have a chance to shoot, and then just took it to the flag, and it took three of their men to try to dislodge it, which they did eventually get. Always nervy whenever you see corner kicks or anything like that, but they played stout. Wasn't very nervy on defense. It was just my nerves. I just
Yeah.
wanted it to be over. And so there we go. We have a 1-0 game. So we have our next one is on Sunday.
Yes.
There's like that team up north brought some noise. Before we talk about that, one other thing, because I'm midfield, so I'm much closer to those knuckleheads than you are.
Yeah.
And they were yelling things like, "You're not Messi." Okay. Kentucky FC. I'm like, okay, whatever. We're not in Kentucky. It's across the river. We're still in Ohio. So like, I don't care. Somebody yelled, Skyline sucks during the national anthem. I'm like, okay, whatever.
It's
You
it's
think
their
that's
only banner.
fighting? I don't know. It's just weak. But anyhow,
Yeah.
we're bringing a bunch of people up. If you are not into Bailey, but are going up to the game on Sunday, if you haven't heard, wear blue. We want a blue wall up there. We want to be definitely differentiating from those other, yellow nightmares, Charlie Browns. So do that. I did hear that Martzuk and somebody else,
Jabari.
yes, Bari is going to be available for Sunday.
Yep.
What are your thoughts on Sunday's game?
Let's continue this uh, push. Let's continue this foot on the gas. Let's continue this aggressive approach to our game plan. I just see and look at this team, who they are away from TQL. We're almost twice as good. So I'm pretty confident that two matches are all we need. That's all we need here. We don't need to talk about a tiebreaker or anything else. We just talk about getting a solid victory up there, coming home, and continuing this MLS Cup run.
I think
That's
that's
a
what this team is. That I think the mindset is like that. I'm very hopeful. This was a team that realizes that the playoffs are now. I mean, we've been talking about the playoffs being the playoffs for the last three weeks, but the pressure of going for the shield is over. The pressure now is just play.
yeah.
And like you said, this team has played amazingly well on the road. They bring a better game than that. And now we have some more players that are available to us. I think Angle is going to be available to us as well, but I'm not exactly sure on that. So don't quote me on that particular one. But we've got so many players, and that's what we've been talking about. What injuries have been preventing us from going, well, we can swap out these 5 players for these 5 players and not miss a beat. And now you're seeing that. Now you're seeing what the front office has done. I did see that Brenner took a massive pay cut to come here. A massive,
Can you
massive.
believe
And
that?
he wants to be here. And
Can you
let's
believe that?
so yeah, that's crazy. Like a 90% discount is what we're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, it,
Unbelievable.
it's it's
Unbelievable.
it's
And
it's crazy.
if you don't think that's going to make me cheer that much, yeah, completely that much more, I just I'm I just my mouth dropped. That's a massive difference in pay from when he left here in 22 to now.
Yeah,
Wow. Wow.
yeah.
Wow. He wants to play here. He wants to shine here.
He
And
wants to win here. He wants to, and he said that. He said this city
yeah,
deserves a cup, and I'm hoping to bring it to them.
wow. Wow. A
And
guy from thousands of miles away, for his hometown, he felt it, the embrace by Cincinnati when he was here, back in 21, 22. And of course, he wanted to play, in Europe, and you can't fault him for that. But coming back and taking the pay that he did for the benefit of our team, God love that man.
and
Completely.
he's playing
Wow.
with fire and passion. It's not like,
Yes.
well, I'm just going to come here and slum it until January window. He's not going to be here come the January window. I mean,
Well,
I would love to have him. He's too good of a talent with the other guys that we have. But you know what? In Albright, I trust.
mm,
This team is set up now for the playoffs. This game was very important on so
yep.
many different levels. It's a confidence booster for this team. This particular group now knows that it can take the Columbus group out.
Yeah.
They could out they know they were out there. They know there's that winning at home, which they haven't done in a while. They did it
hmm
with Montreal, but a game that you need to win, and it's the first of 3. So now you don't like you could play a little looser. You don't want to lose on Sunday, but
No.
you're not like okay, the season's over, right? Columbus,
hmm
if they go down a goal in the 50th minute, that puts that extra lump on their shoulder to go, we've got 40 minutes to figure this out, or it's over. It's all over. And their coach may be gone, and who knows what other things are happening with that club. Um, I'm just glad that our club is looking solid and on their way up,
Yes.
up, up.
Amen to that. Get your Brenner jersey now. Just go get it. Do not wait. Get a Brenner jersey. He deserves it.
And for those of you who are waiting until Sunday to listen to this, and you're listening to it now, and you're on a bus, not in a car, on a
Yeah.
bus, have your beverage, raise your beverage. We're happy that you were listening to us while going up to cheer on the team, because
Amen, brother.
we love you guys so much, and it's been a couple of weeks since we saw you, but we're going to be doing this for a little while longer. So season 3 is not out of the books, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
Any final thoughts before we head out of here?
Well, obviously, Happy Halloween is right there. And I just want to wear the 2018 jersey. And for the man behind me here, Forrest Lasso, just sent his note to all his fans that he will be hanging up the boots at the end of the season. And of course, we followed him with the Charleston Battery that he came to Nippert back in our early days. And then we signed him in 2018. He had his 1 year in MLS in 2019, but then was loaned out to Nashville. And then he found his place in Tampa Bay. And he had a cup of coffee over in Norway, I believe, or somewhere over there, and then made it back to Tampa Bay, where he had, I believe it was 6 or 7 long years. But the thing I want to point out is something that I appreciated about him, and this was his motto. It was faith, football, or faith, family, and football. You have to keep that right. But he exemplified that, and just congratulations to a wonderful career to him and his family. And what a wonderful player he was for us. He didn't play that; he just played a little bit for us. Was loaned out pretty quickly after he made a couple of MLS appearances. But just happy to have him on. To honor him tonight.
Well, yeah, remember your F's. There's another
Yes.
F you might have slipped in there. That would have been a bit different. My last thing before we head out here and see what happens next week, because hopefully you'll see us next week talk about the results, was Happy Halloween, and thanks to Nick Hagelin, not only comeback player of the year, which is well deserved. He shouldn't have to go through an injury that he did to get that, but
Yes.
deserved. But he was also James from Team Rocket today at training.
Oh yeah,
that was amazing.
That was awesome.
Huge shout out to all the team who dressed up. It did make me chuckle quite a bit looking at that post.
Pavel and Robinson,
Yeah,
too good, man, too good.
it was all fun. Well, that's about all the time we have here. So go FCC. Tell that team up north to, I don't know, something with the crew. It starts with an S. I don't know. I'm not going to worry about any of that stuff. But have fun. Enjoy yourself responsibly. And we'll see you next week here on FCC Supporter Square.
Thank you for joining FCC Supporter Square. The hosts are Matt Warman, Boston Brazel, and Mark Suffolk. The intro song is Quick on the Holster by the Stone Bunnies, and the ending song is Awesome Sauce, also by the Stone Bunnies. Thank you for listening. Please join us again.